This page is the vibrant cover of Saturn Fan Magazine, featuring the whimsical character Knights from Nights into Dreams, soaring against a sky background, highlighting the game as Sega's latest action title from the Sonic team. The cover prominently displays the magazine title in gold lettering. It announces exciting news for Saturn owners, including the decision to port Slank's Real Bout Fatal Fury for a summer release. The cover also teases a lineup of other notable games. Key titles featured include Virtua Fighter Kids, the critically acclaimed Sakura Wars, the strategic RPG Dragon Force, and the beloved space shooter Panzer Dragoon Saga. Other games listed are Mega Man X3, Gungraphon, Angelique, Victory Goal 96, Super Real Mahjong PVI, Sword and Sorcery, Luna, Silver Star Story, and J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru. Furthermore, the cover highlights Enemy Zero and the port of the legendary simulation RPG Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together by Riverhill Soft. There's also mention of Dead, noting its large 4-quadrum size on Saturn, and a nod to Tokimeki Memorial, referencing various character groups or scenarios. This issue is dated April 26, 1996, number 9, priced at 540 yen, offering a glimpse into the exciting lineup for the console at the time. Sega launched the Dondon Itadaki campaign for the Sega Saturn from March 8 to April 30, 1996. Players could enter to win prizes by submitting seals from new software releases. The Kikamani Select course required 2 seals for a chance to win one of 3,000 lifestyle prizes. The Sega Saturn Life course, needing 3 seals, offered a chance to win one of 2,000 prizes. A Sega Saturn travel bag, 1,000 winners, or the unique Sega Saturn The Chair, 1,000 winners. Other prizes included Coleman lanterns, Jerry Cosby backpacks, and model tanks. Participating games included Dragon Force, Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Victory Goal 96. Players were encouraged to send in their seals to enter the draw for these prizes. This page introduces the revolutionary Sega Saturn Magazine / Credrom hybrid called Gameware. Forget just reading about games, this is a magazine where you play the content of the first issue. Hitting shelves on April 5 for 1,980 yen, is packed with interactive features. You can dive into ongoing game series like the Romance Simulation Series of Dreams, tackle the quirky 3D puzzle game Pit Boy's Great Adventure, or check out a version of the popular arcade title Ajihan Detective Agency. Beyond the playable games, there are interactive advertisements, various information sections covering movie and music features, and even a look at recommended import titles like Kaio Flying Squadron and others. This issue also features content related to the pinball classic, Last Gladiators. Gameware is redefining what a game magazine can be by making the content come alive on your Saturn. This page announces Konami's major game lineup making their eagerly anticipated debut on the Sega Saturn. Headlining the page is Tokimeki Memorial Forever With You, the beloved romance simulation game, showcasing its charming characters and high school setting, promising a faithful adaptation. The page also features the definitive Sega Saturn version of Hideo Kojima's cinematic adventure masterpiece, Policenauts, set in a dystopian future LA, presented here as the ultimate iteration of the game. Another Kojima classic, the Cyberpunk Adventure Snatcher, is highlighted as a greatly anticipated revival with upgrades, challenging players to solve its complex mysteries. For fans of classic shooters, the Gradius Deluxe Pack, compiling the first 2 legendary arcade titles, is prominently featured, bringing intense side-scrolling action back to consoles. The bottom section lists other popular Konami titles already available on the Saturn, including various shooting games, a puzzle title, and a baseball simulation. This page is a strong statement from Konami, bringing their acclaimed franchises to the Sega Saturn platform. This page is all about the intense, 3D mech combat of Gungraphon, the Eurasian conflict, exclusively for the Sega Saturn. Developed by GameArts, this game throws you into fierce battles using new mobile weapons, boasting the culmination of the latest 3D technology. The page showcases the game with a dynamic illustration of 2 mechs in action. It details 4 specific missions, giving players a taste of the diverse combat environments they'll face, from breaking supply lines in Dandelion Seed to eliminating enemy forces in cities and stopping invasions. Gungraphon aimed for a high level of realism for the era, featuring detailed motion control for realistic walking and running, and using a new sound driver to create an immersive battlefield atmosphere. Technical features like detailed 3D rendering with light source calculations and atmospheric perspective were highlighted to achieve a level of visual fidelity not seen before. The game is presented as now on sale and was a key Sega Saturn exclusive. This page dives into Koei's Sega Saturn mystery adventure, 7 Secret Mansions, Nanatsu no Hikan. This game stood out for featuring a scenario written by renowned Naoki Prize-winning author Shimodake Kageki in his video game debut. Produced by Koei veteran Shibusawa Ku, known for strategy epics like Nobunaga's Ambition, this venture into adventure promises high-quality 3D CG graphics and compelling voice acting from a cast of famous voice actors, creating a realistic and immersive experience. The game challenges players with a shocking mystery that unfolds within the titular mansions. Screenshots hint at the diverse and often eerie settings, showing everything from a macabre skull and mysterious figures to grand architectural designs and atmospheric interiors. The page claims the game is a shocking adventure where mystery calls mystery, and boldly states it's 7 times more interesting than previous adventures. Released on 3 Credroms, 7 Secret Mansions aim to push the boundaries of the adventure genre on the Saturn. This page is an advertisement announcing that the classic strategy RPGs Ogre Battle, The March of the Black Queen, and Tactics Ogre are coming to the Sega Saturn. This page is a 2-page spread advertising 2 upcoming RPG titles for the Sega Saturn. On the left, the game is Sword and Sorcery, presented by Microcabin. The page features dynamic character artwork showing a party of adventurers battling a monster. It highlights the RPG genre and boasts impressive 3D battle environments and exploration views. The ad also mentions a strong voice cast for the characters and details a special gift for purchasers related to the game's opening animation. Sword and Sorcery was scheduled for release in May 1996. On the right, the page promotes 3x3 Eyes, Princess of the Vampire, based on the popular manga/anime series. It features prominent artwork of the main characters, including Pai, Parvati IV, and Yakumo Fuji. The ad announces the game's arrival on the Sega Saturn and showcases anime-style screenshots, suggesting significant visual storytelling. It mentions a special bonus Credrom included with the game, 3x3 Eyes, Princess of the Vampire was set for release on April 19, 1996. This page is a dynamic spread from Victor Entertainment showcasing 4 different titles for the Sega Saturn. On the left side, the upper section features Kimyu Kitetsu Uedo Bakumatsu Chinduchu, an action game set in the Chautic Bakumatsu era of Japan. It highlights vibrant anime-style characters, including a blonde protagonist and a blue creature, hinting at a quirky, high-energy adventure across Edo. It shows screenshots of the gameplay, which appears to involve combat in detailed environments. This title was scheduled for release on May 17. The right side of the spread focuses on 2 classic arcade shooting games making their way to the Saturn. Night Striker is a futuristic driving shooter where you pilot a sleek car through neon-lit cityscapes. Metal Black is a horizontal shoot-'em-up, putting you in control of a powerful spacecraft, battling monstrous organic and mechanical enemies in a dark, sci-fi setting. Both games feature impressive visuals and intense action, promising faithful arcade ports. Night Striker was set for a mid-June release, while Metal Black arrived on May 24. The bottom section of the page presents 2 more games. On the left is Sea Bass Fishing, described as a full-fledged fishing simulation, featuring realistic artwork of a fish and promoting the experience of enjoyable fishing at home. On the right is Thunderhawk 2, a high-speed 3D helicopter shooting game, showing off its realistic helicopter model, and a gameplay screenshot. Both Sea Bass Fishing and Thunderhawk 2 are advertised as currently on sale. This page features 2 distinct games on a split spread. On the left is Electronic Arts High-Octane, a high-speed futuristic combat racing game developed by Bullfrog Productions. The artwork showcases a heavily armed vehicle in a Chautic, explosive environment. The text highlights the Sega Saturn and PlayStation versions, noting enhanced graphics with improved textures and new music compared to previous versions. Players can choose from several futuristic vehicles and compete in various race types, including championships and single races, using power-ups and weapons to survive. Both versions were already on sale for 5,800 yen. The right side presents Sunsoft's Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian for the Sega Saturn, a strategic RPG. The vibrant anime-style artwork features the main characters, including the protagonist Al and his companions. Screenshots depict the game's exploration and turn-based combat scenes with detailed sprite work. The page announces the game's planned release in summer 1996 for 6,500 yen. It also mentions a limited first-run bonus, including a desk calendar and a special CD box, along with a double chance campaign offering a chance to win exclusive merchandise. The vertical text features dramatic flavor text associated with the game. This page is a two-page advertisement for Mortal Kombat 2 on the Sega Saturn. The left side prominently displays the game's title, Mortal Kombat 2, indicating it's the complete version, and is now on sale for Saturn at a price of 5,800 yen. It features the Sega Saturn logo and an age rating of 18+. Below the game details, there's information promoting the Mortal Kombat movie, highlighting its success in the US, and announcing it's currently showing as a spring roadshow in Japan. The right side is dominated by a large, menacing image of Shao Kahn, the final boss of the game, with vertical Japanese text reading, "Welcome to the infinite hell of battle." At the bottom, the Midway and Acclaim Japan logos are displayed, along with copyright information. This spread effectively promotes the game's release on Saturn, and ties into the concurrently showing movie. This page presents the Cage of Curiosity Chapter 1, the first title in the Flawless Multi-Story System series for the Sega Saturn. This is a visual novel/adventure game developed by Elf, known for their mature titles, as indicated by the X rating, 18+. The game follows the notorious genius detective Takuma Kaibara and his butler Isaku as they investigate mysterious events at Nomura Hospital. Key characters featured include the hospital director's wife, Akiko, and nurses named Gri, Miho, and Chisato. Players will use Kaibara's deductive skills to unravel a complex web of truth within the hospital setting. The page highlights the anime-style character designs and the dramatic backdrop of the hospital under a stormy sky, setting a serious tone for the mystery. It was released on April 26, 1996, priced at 6,800 yen. This page provides the contents overview for the magazine issue, and heavily features an upcoming pinball game. The contents list previews articles on major Saturn titles like The Fantastical Nights into Dreams, the popular strategy series Sakura Wars, and the enduring dating simulation Tokimeki Memorial Forever With You, indicating a diverse range of games covered. A prominent feature is Pinball Graffiti, a new 3D polygonal pinball game showcasing dynamic 360-degree camera views powered by a robust 3D engine. The text highlights detailed settings for players to customize their experience and mentions a story mode where the goal is to become the world pinball champion, promising deep gameplay beyond standard arcade action. Visuals display varied table designs, including a futuristic look and a sports-themed table, teasing the different challenges players will face. A game index is also present, listing titles covered in the magazine. This page features an in-depth look at Nights into Dreams, the highly anticipated title from the legendary Sonic team. The article highlights this game as a new sensation action experience, where players can freely fly through the dream world. The visuals showcase the unique character Knights, alongside human protagonists, Elliot Edwards, and Clarice Sinclair, soaring through vibrant, fantastical landscapes. The text emphasizes that Nights into Dreams is a departure from previous Sega titles, offering innovative controls and a distinct game system, while still retaining the creative spirit of the Sonic team. Screenshots display the dynamic flying gameplay, the dreamlike environments, and interactions between the characters. It's clear this game aims to immerse players in a world where dreams come to life, offering an adventure unlike anything seen before. This page dives deeper into the core gameplay of Nights into Dreams, showcasing the unique actions players will perform in the dream world. The primary focus is on Knight's aerial abilities, highlighting the sense of freedom and intentional movement, unlike traditional platformers. Sections detail specific maneuvers like rapid ascent and descent, crucial for navigating the environments and potentially collecting items. Special moves like the drill dash, akin to a spin attack for speed and offense, and the intriguing copter loop are also featured. The page also explains the role of the human protagonists, Elliot Edwards and Clarice Sinclair. Before merging with Knights, players control these characters on the ground, running and exploring to find Knights. A combat system is introduced, showing battles against the nightmares, described as dream monsters, in enclosed arenas. Finally, the critical dualize mechanic is explained, Finding Knights allows Elliot or Claris to merge and take control of Knights, enabling flight and access to these powerful abilities, a central part of the game's story and progression. The accompanying screenshots vividly illustrate these actions and the game's distinctive, vibrant, rendered dreamscapes. This page details the intricate world-building and characters of Knights into Dreams. It explains the core narrative, focusing on how the dreams of humans create the worlds of Knightopia and Nightmare. The story follows Elliot Edwards and Clarisse Sinclair, two children who feel burdened by their anxieties. Drawn into the dream world, they encounter Knights, a jester-like being imprisoned by Wiseman, the ruler of nightmares. Knights was created from positive ideas, but was corrupted and imprisoned. Elliot and Clarisse must find Knights to dualize and gain the power to fly and fight Wiseman's forces, specifically the Nightmaren who steal idea, the essence of positive dreams. The page introduces the three main playable characters. Knights, the mischievous and acrobatic first-level Nightmaren seeking freedom. Elliot, a cautious 15-year-old boy dealing with a sports setback. And Clarisse, an emotional 15-year-old girl aspiring to be a singer but struggling with stage fright. Their personal struggles tie directly into their journey in the dream world. It also describes the two main dimensions. Knightopia, born from pleasant dreams and positive emotions, depicted as bright and vibrant, and Nightmare, created from negative emotions and fears, shown as dark and unsettling. Wiseman resides in Nightmare, feeding on the stolen idea. The page highlights the depth of the game's psychological themes and the detailed background created for its unique setting and characters, evident in the varied screenshots of the dreamy landscapes and character models. This page delves further into the presentation and gameplay of Knights into Dreams. Building on the characters and world introduced previously, it highlights the fantastic backgrounds and music, emphasizing how the visuals shift perspective, and the environments like Knightopia and Nightmare reflect the dream world. The music is a key feature, described as living BGM because it dynamically changes based on your actions and location, blending genres like jazz, rock, and orchestral music to enhance the immersive experience. The core gameplay is centered around the exhilarating feeling of flying, allowing players to perform acrobatic maneuvers through the dreamscape. The game structure incorporates the adventure within the two distinct dream realms. The characters, Knights, Elliot and Clarisse, each pursue their own objectives within this shared dream narrative. Furthermore, the game's backgrounds and themes are noted for incorporating depth psychology, linking the fantastical environments to the characters' internal states and struggles. The page includes various screenshots showcasing the vibrant and dynamic dream worlds and action. A final image teases a developer interview on the following page. This page features a developer interview with the creative minds behind Knights into Dreams, Yuji Naka, Naoto Oshima, and Takashi Iizuka. They discuss the origins of the game's concept, which remarkably came to them on a plane ride after completing Sonic and Knuckles. The developers delve into the challenges of designing the unique characters like Knights, Elliots, and Clarisse, and bringing the distinct worlds of Knightopia and Nightmare to life. They mention incorporating concepts from psychology to add depth to the game's themes. A key focus for the team was creating beautiful visuals that immerse the player in the dream world, prioritizing the overall aesthetic experience over simply highlighting polygon counts. Sidebars provide interesting facts, including Sonic's global recognition and the psychological influences on the game's world structure. The page also includes brief profiles of the developers, highlighting their work on other iconic Sega titles like various Sonic games and the Phantasy Star series. The images show character models and screenshots capturing the vibrant dreamscapes players explore. This page is an emergency report on Warp's new interactive movie title, Enemy Zero, from Kenji Ino, the creator of the groundbreaking game D. The big news is the decision to release the game across 4 creeds. Enemy Zero is described as a full 3D CG adventure and action game, placing more emphasis on gameplay than D, set in the cold silence of deep space where the player must face terrifying, yet invisible, enemies. The article highlights the impressive staff assembled for the project, including music by Michael Nyman, known for the piano, and creature design by Yasushi Seizawa. There are screenshots showcasing the game's environment and the main character, Laura Lewis. A significant part of the page covers the sudden platform change. Initially developed for PlayStation, Warp announced at a press event that Enemy Zero would now primarily launch on Sega Saturn, citing reasons related to the required number of discs and distribution issues with Sony. though a PlayStation version was still a possibility later. An interview with Kenji Ino delves into these reasons, explaining that Saturn offered a better solution for a 4 Candelas game and a more favorable price point of 6,800 yen. This page provides a detailed look at Enemy Zero's presentation and gameplay. It highlights the impressive, high-quality CG opening movie, which is so extensive, it occupies an entire CD. The opening story sets the scene, introducing the crew of the Virginity, and the sudden, violent arrival of the invisible enemy, resulting in the death of Parker. The adventure portion of the game utilizes integrated CG graphics, placing players in Laura's perspective as they explore the ship, gather items, and interact with the environment in a style reminiscent of D. A significant new feature is the ship's internal network, which allows players to communicate with surviving crew members via video phone terminals found throughout the ship and access crucial data. The article continues the interview, discussing the contributions of the talented staff like composer Michael Nyman and creature designer Yasushi Seizawa. The discussion touches on the game's difficulty, emphasizing the challenge of dealing with invisible enemies by relying heavily on sound. They estimate the main story can be completed in about 3 playthroughs, with each run taking around 4 to 5 hours. The next page delves further into the gameplay mechanics and design philosophy behind Enemy Zero. It emphasizes the use of real-time polygon 3D CG to enhance interactivity, allowing for smooth, free movement unlike the step-by-step navigation often seen in earlier adventure games. The game transitions seamlessly between exploration in areas like corridors and storage rooms and action sequences. A key aspect highlighted is the reliance on sound to locate and engage the invisible enemies, as players cannot see them directly. The article explains how sound cues differentiate enemy position and distance. Furthermore, it touches upon Laura's weapon, which increases in power as the story progresses. A continuation of the interview reinforces the challenging but rewarding nature of dealing with the unseen threat and the thought process behind the game's unique approach to horror and action. Visual diagrams illustrate how sound translates to enemy location. This page is dedicated to exciting news for Sega Saturn owners. The announcement of ports for 2 classic quest simulation RPGs, Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, and Tactics Ogre. Let us cling together. It features an interview with Junji Shigematsu, a producer from Riverhill Soft, the company handling the ports. Shigematsu discusses the decision to bring these popular Super Famicom titles to the Saturn, expressing a desire for Saturn users, including core fans, to experience these masterpieces. He praises the depth and systems of both games, particularly Tactics Ogre, acknowledging its initial complexity but highlighting its rewarding gameplay. Riverhill Soft aims to create ports that not only faithfully recreate the originals, but also surpass the Super Famicom versions in quality and polish, incorporating Saturn-specific features where possible. The development is still in its early stages, around 20% complete, but the team is committed to meeting fan expectations. The article emphasizes the intricate graphics and deep narratives of the Ogre Battle series. This page reveals that the Saturn versions are coming soon, and the next page will delve further into what fans can expect. This page dives deeper into the upcoming Sega Saturn ports of the legendary quest strategy RPGs, Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, and Tactics Ogre. Let us cling together. This page highlights Ogre Battle as a masterpiece of real-time simulation, emphasizing its unique system where players issue orders to units that then move and engage automatically on the map, and introduces the Chaos Frame system that tracks unit loyalty and influences the narrative. Tactics Ogre, described as the second entry in the series, is presented with a focus on its deep narrative set amidst a complex civil war, featuring a branching story and tactical battles where height and unit positioning are crucial. The article notes that while based on the Super Famicom originals, the Saturn versions aim for enhanced graphics and sound, particularly for event scenes in Tactics Ogre, to heighten the dramatic impact. There's also a section with a message from the original developer, Quest, reflecting on the distinct systems of both games, the real-time command in Ogre Battle, and the intricate 3D battlefield strategy in Tactics Ogre, and expressing their anticipation for players to experience these ports. Screenshots from both games illustrate the gameplay and visual style. This page explores the upcoming adventure and simulation hybrid game, Sakura Wars. The article details its 2-part structure per episode, starting with adventure segments in the Imperial Opera House and transitioning to simulation battles. It highlights the game's unique Taishu-era setting, features protagonist Sakura Shinguji and the 6-girl Imperial Combat Review, and showcases the game's detailed 3D modeling used for the cityscape. This page continues exploring the world of Sakura Wars, detailing the dual lives of the 6 girls of the Imperial Combat Review as performers at the Imperial Opera House. It showcases the adventure gameplay, illustrating a humorous scene during a play practice between Sakura Shinguji and Sumire Kanzaki, highlighting their dynamic and the unfolding drama through a series of numbered screenshots. The main focus, however, is on the innovative timed branching system, also known as the LIPS, Live and Interactive Picture System. This mechanic requires players to make dialogue choices within a strict time limit, emphasizing quick decisions that significantly impact character relationships and the unfolding story. The page demonstrates how different choices, such as intervening or observing, lead to varied outcomes, and even failing to respond within the time limit has consequences, like fellow character Maria Tachibana stepping in. There's also a brief look at character Iris Chateaubriand and her distinctive costumes. This page dives deep into the Sega Saturn version of the classic dating simulation, Tokimeki Memorial, Forever With You. It highlights the core mechanics of the game, which revolves around managing your character's stats through various training activities like studying and sports. These self-improvement efforts are crucial as they directly influence which of the many beautiful girls you can meet and how your relationships with them develop. The primary way to build bonds is through dating, with various locations like the mall, cinema, and amusement park available, where dialogue choices play a significant role. The page also touches upon special events like school trips that further the relationships. A special focus is placed on Shiori Fujisaki, the iconic main heroine and the Madonna of Kirameki High. Described as perfect in every way, she's noted as the most challenging character to earn a confession from. A unique and tense mechanic highlighted is the fear of the bomb system. Neglecting girls you've met can lead to a bomb appearing, and its explosion damages your reputation with all the girls, adding a layer of strategic difficulty to juggling multiple relationships. The page features screenshots showing date scenes and character art, giving a glimpse into the game's presentation. The next page dives deeper into the cast of beautiful girls you can pursue in Tokimeki Memorial, Forever With You on the Sega Saturn. It introduces several key heroines, such as Asahina Yuko, Nijino Saki, Katagiri Ayako, Koshiki Yukari, and Kiyokawa Nozomi, giving you a taste of their personalities. Beyond these, the page confirms a wide array of other potential love interests, including secret characters, some highlighted with visuals from the PlayStation version. A notable feature covered is the confession scene, detailing how the Saturn version allows the player to initiate the confession and the options available, shown with screenshots capturing the big moment, along with a lighthearted note about the outcome potentially involving more than just your best friend, Yoshio. It also illustrates various locations like classrooms, the museum, and the school grounds, where you'll spend time searching for the girls you want to connect with. This page focuses on Lunar, Silver Star Story, introducing 2 key characters and the magical city of Vane. It highlights Nash, described as a skilled magic user in training, and Mia Ausa, the pure-hearted daughter of the Magic Guild's leader. Screenshots show gameplay, including battle scenes with magic effects, like Nash's lightning spells and Mia's ice magic. The article also details the floating city of Vane, a major location managed by the Magic Guild and overseen by Galeon, where entry requires passing trials in an underground labyrinth. The page emphasizes how the game, a significant update from the Mega CD version, is preparing to reveal more information to fans eager for its release on the Saturn. The visuals showcase the updated graphics and character designs for this highly anticipated RPG. This page introduces the psychological thriller adventure game Toriko, detailing its amnesiac protagonist's journey in the mysterious city of Mist, and highlighting key characters and locations. This page delves into Toriko, an ambitious adventure game that promises a psychological thriller experience. The story follows Fred, a young man suffering from amnesia who is tasked with exploring the enigmatic City of Mist by its ruling lord, Gordon. The article highlights the game's focus on deep character relationships and the player's psychological state influencing gameplay, featuring a unique defocus function. Screenshots showcase the atmospheric environments of the city, from foggy streets to detailed interiors like a library and a bar, providing a glimpse into the game's visual style. A character relationship chart details Fred's connection to Gordon and introduces the city's intriguing residents, like the loyal followers Jade and Saber, and other inhabitants including Rose, Hal, Moses, Anthony, Hannah, Mac, and Gray, suggesting a complex web of interactions central to uncovering the game's mysteries and Fred's lost memories. This page features a grand adventure title on the left, titled Dai Kukai, Saint Elmo no Kiseki, a simulation RPG promising a great adventure at sea, set to release on April 19, 1996. The page highlights its impressive 3D sailing mode, cinematic visuals, real-time sea battles supporting up to 16 ships, and a free trading system where players can profit from fluctuating market prices across over 50 trading locations. The artwork showcases adventurous characters and detailed ships against a historical world map. On the right, the Ranking Street section provides a snapshot of Sega Saturn sales performance for 2 weeks in late March 1996. The sales analysis notes that Panzer Dragoon Saga had a strong debut, while titles like King of Fighters 95 and Dragon Force were also performing well amidst increasing competition. The rankings show popular titles like Panzer Dragoon Saga, the King of Fighters 95, Darkstalkers, Dragon Force, and Gungriffon among the top sellers during this period. This section also includes reader contributions and details about the Earth King's Full Corner. This page features tear-out postcards and forums designed for reader interaction with Saturn Fan Magazine. The primary purpose is gathering feedback, rankings, and entries for prize drawings related to various sections like Ranking Street, the Earth King's Full Corner, and other reader-focused segments. Readers are prompted to provide their personal details, rank or select preferred games from a substantial list covering many genres, including fighting games like Virtua Fighting Vipers, Virtua Fighter, and King of Fighters 96 RPGs such as Dragon Force and Shining Force 2i, adventure titles like Myst, and arcade racers like Sega Rally Championship. The forums also allow for general feedback and responses to specific survey questions, contributing directly to the magazine's content and reader polls. This page presents the Ranking Street Report, compiling reader feedback to rank Sega Saturn games. Topping the list is Neon Genesis Evangelion, a game based on the popular anime. Reader comments praise its faithful adaptation, excellent voice acting, and immersive experience for fans, while some criticize the short scenarios and limited gameplay variety. The developer acknowledges the feedback, particularly regarding scenario length and gameplay depth. Ranked second is The Tower, known internationally as Sim Tower, the Vertical Empire. This simulation game is described by players as relaxing and enjoyable for its detailed building management aspects. Criticisms focus on slow processing speeds, repetitive tasks, and some frustrating interface issues. The developer thanks readers for their input and mentions incorporating feedback into future works, specifically referencing the Tower series. The page also briefly lists other ranked games based on reader input, covering a mix of genres. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, diving further down the list of games ranked by players. Coming in at number 3 is Mahjong Hyper Reaction R. This is a Mahjong game, and players seem to appreciate the strategic depth and the varying difficulty offered by the AI opponents. However, some found the balance tricky, mentioning the need for multiple continues, and perhaps too much focus on character designs over core gameplay. Ranked 4th is Gotha 2, Tenku no Kishi. This appears to be a simulation game, likely a sequel based on the title. Feedback suggests it successfully builds on the previous game, with players enjoying the unit progression and the strategic elements. Criticism points towards a short story mode and some graphical issues compared to the first entry. We see The Horde at number 6. This game, mixing simulation and action, drew mixed reactions. While the concept was intriguing to some, the pacing and difficulty were criticized. Players felt the action sequences were too fast and frustrating, often leading to quick deaths, making it difficult to appreciate the simulation aspects. Finally, at number 7, we have Lode Runner Legend Returns. Described as an action puzzle game, players found it a faithful return to the classic Lode Runner formula, appreciating the core gameplay loop of digging holes and avoiding enemies. Some felt the graphics and sound could be improved, and the level design occasionally felt repetitive or unfair. This page provides a snapshot of player sentiment regarding the Sega Saturn. Key sections include a popularity ranking, showcasing trending games like Nanonura, Biowin no Hitobito. Player anticipation for upcoming titles, particularly Derby Stallion, is also highlighted. A significant focus is the Saturn Transplant ranking, revealing the community's desire for ports of titles such as Final Fantasy V2, Resident Evil, and fighting games like Real Bout Fatal Fury. The page also fosters community engagement with a Conehead Club feature and a Super VIP section, displaying fan contributions like artwork. Overall, the content reflects player opinions on existing games, desired ports, and the Saturn's future potential. This page features a variety of fan-submitted content and community sections from the Sega Saturn magazine. The free illustrations section displays fan art featuring characters from popular series like The King of Fighters, Neon Genesis, Evangelion, and Guardian Heroes. The Daily Talk section shares personal stories and messages from readers, including experiences at events and aspirations like voice acting. The Feeling Couple 3vs3 showcases illustrations combining characters from Darkstalkers and X-Men. The Bought That Idea section highlights creative concepts submitted by readers, featuring characters from Sakura Wars and Darkstalkers. There is also a discussion about reader opinions regarding mature content in the magazine. Finally, the photorealistic show features impressive cosplay photography, and the Taste Showdown presents illustrations related to food and characters, possibly from Darkstalkers. This page focuses on community feedback and reader contributions. A prominent section features readers' opinions on the new, lower-priced Sega Saturn console, discussing its value and impact. There's also a dedicated feature providing strategy and showcasing illustrations related to the game Guardian Heroes. The page includes a message board, announcements of previous giveaway winners, and a collection of fan-submitted illustrations, including art inspired by Popful Mail and other characters. A section outlines the prizes available for the current issue's giveaway, which include posters for Dragon Force and Virtua Striker, a mini MP5 replica, and a jigsaw puzzle for Tokimeki Memorial. Finally, rules and guidelines for submitting content to the magazine are provided. This page features the final installment of the Virtual Idol Voice Actor Paradise series, focusing on an interview with voice actress Konami Yoshida. Yoshida discusses her passion for games, stating her hands often react before her mind does, and how this interest led her into voice acting. She shares insights into her career start, her love for stuffed animals influencing her acting style, and how she wanted a job that would leave a lasting impression on people. A section highlights her work in the game Rabulous Panic, where she voices the character Stopcat in a casino-style table game. She mentions enjoying the game, even if she isn't skilled at betting, and the screenshot shows the game's interface. Another segment details her diverse roles, including voicing cute female characters, but also unexpectedly taking on male roles in titles like Magic Knight Ray-Earth and Metal Fighter Miku, noting the contrast with her usual soprano voice. The page also includes an announcement for the next issue of the Virtual Idol publication, mentioning coverage of games like Dukyusei and Tokimeki Memorial. Finally, there's a giveaway, offering autographed postcards from Konami Yoshida as Epcat to 10 lucky winners. This page features a collection of news and events for Sega Saturn fans. First up is a pinball tournament announcement for Tetsukyu no Tetsujin, True Pinball, where players compete for high scores on 4 different tables, with prizes for the top scorers. There's a creative contest asking fans to design and color a character named Boruto-kun, with different age categories and various prizes like game consoles and software. A device called Bibbin at Atomark is highlighted, allowing users to access the internet and multimedia content on their television, compatible with both Mac and PC systems and bundled with software. An autograph session for Yuko Sakamoto is announced to celebrate the release of Angel Paradise, with event dates and locations specified. Konami is holding a naming contest for a girl they've dubbed their Cinderella Girl, asking fans to suggest a wonderful name for the featured individual, Kurimoto Rina. Voice actress Manami Komori's radio show is mentioned, providing details on her program and its broadcast time. Sega announces they are utilizing the internet to distribute information about their game software and other multimedia content, expanding their online presence. Finally, there's a reader giveaway, offering a high-grade, master-grade Gundam model kit to lucky winners. This page kicks off with a chance to grab a special demo disc for Flash Sega Saturn Okazuki Hen. Released back on March 22nd, this demo is only available to those who bought the game. But now, fans can get a copy just by entering the giveaway. There's a section listing winners from the previous issue's contests, celebrating the lucky readers who scored prizes. Down below, this week's pickup highlights some cool new releases. There's the soundtrack for the arcade shooter 19XX. The War Against Destiny, featuring 24 tracks. Fans of dating sims will be interested in the Tokimeki Memorial radio drama CD, featuring voice actress Megumi Hayashibara. For video collectors, there's Kyankyanko Extra Volume 1, a video release based on the popular PC game. Bookworms can check out Meiba Retsuden Symboli Rudolph, which delves into the history of famous racehorses, focusing on the legendary Symboli Rudolph. Music lovers also get the original soundtrack for the intense mech combat game Gun Griffon. And fans of the Angelique series can pick up the second volume of the drama CD side story, Angelique Gaiden. Finally, a short manga strip concludes its short-term intensive serial. It follows some elven characters in a tense situation, seemingly dealing with an invasion or a difficult choice related to a character named Goldark, reflecting on humanity's actions and the challenges they face. This page features a manga adaptation of the classic Sega Saturn strategy RPG, Dragon Force. The comic, titled Ankurusamu, depicts scenes from the game's world, focusing on characters and conflicts within the Kingdom of Legon. On the left, an elven character appears to be conversing, potentially reflecting on past events or relationships, mentioning someone's former friend. The right side plunges into a military scene in the Highland Northwest, specifically the Traban Autonomous Territory, where the focus shifts to Igaracio, a general from the game, expressing frustration during a battle or confrontation with country bumpkin knights. The manga captures the intensity and personal drama inherent in the large-scale battles of Dragon Force. This page continues the manga adaptation of the classic Sega Saturn strategy RPG Dragon Force. On the left side, the character Goldark is depicted, expressing that keeping Borugano as a mere pawn is a waste. Hilda and another character note the battle has gone on long enough and needs to conclude soon, as they don't have much time. Hilda observes the fighting, remarking that the battle has lasted 3 hours and the participants are persistent. The right side shows a discussion, likely among Reinhardt, Goldark, and other generals. They talk about battles traditionally being decided by a duel between the leaders. The focus shifts to the king, who is currently engaged in such a duel. Characters express strong confidence in the Star Dragon warrior, stating he couldn't possibly lose in this situation. Hilda is shown confirming the king is fighting and expressing faith in his ability to secure victory. The page captures the blend of tactical discussion and personal drama within the large-scale conflicts of Dragon Force. This page features a manga set in a fantasy world. Characters are shown in various settings, including a castle room and a rocky outdoor area. The dialogue reveals a dire plot point. The evil god Mataluk is on the verge of revival, threatening the world. The mission is urgent. They must locate the legendary 8 warriors of the Star Dragon before destruction comes. It's stated that only one of the warriors, King Wayne, can accomplish this task. The right side depicts the aftermath of a skirmish, where characters like Soma recover from minor injuries. Banter ensues among the group, teasing Soma and another character named Link for being excessively eager in battle, adding a touch of humor and highlighting their bond amidst the serious overarching plot. This page features a strategy guide for the classic Sega Saturn strategy RPG, Dragon Force. The right side is dominated by impressive key artwork showcasing the game's diverse cast of leaders within an ornate frame. The guide emphasizes gaining victory through character analysis and outlines strategies for navigating the routes of the game's 6 nations, particularly focusing on overcoming challenges in the mid-game and expanding national power. The left side contains manga panels, likely depicting scenes or characters related to the game's narrative, including characters identified in the caption as Lou of Highland and Nina. A small table below the main artwork provides basic game information. This page features a comprehensive strategy guide for the mid-game section of Dragon Force. Building on the previous coverage of early routes, it imparts 3 crucial pieces of knowledge for succeeding in the increasingly intense battles. The guide breaks down strategy into 3 key areas: field, domestic affairs, and battle. The field section discusses navigating the world map, strategic troop placement, and specific routes for expanding your territory, highlighting how different nations like Highland, Bozak, and Izumo should approach their campaigns. The domestic affairs section covers managing your commanders, emphasizing the importance of increasing their loyalty and using items effectively. It also touches upon the search and build castle commands as vital tools. The battle section delves into combat tactics, explaining how to utilize formations, change strategies during battle, and leverage the distinct types of general skills available, such as melee, projectile, charge, and magic. Screenshots illustrate troop movements on the map, various combat scenarios, and formation options. The guide emphasizes mastering these core mechanics to overcome challenges as your empire grows. The next page delves deeper into the specific nations and characters you'll encounter and command in Dragon Force. It provides an analysis of 2 distinct kingdoms, highlighting their unique combat styles and key generals. First, the Highland Kingdom is profiled, described as a force centered around physical, close combat units like soldiers and horsemen. While powerful offensively, their major drawback is the lack of ranged units like mages and archers. The strategy section emphasizes overcoming this limitation and highlights key generals like Wayne, Hilda, Locke, and others who exemplify their physical prowess. Next, the Moon Palace Kingdom is analyzed. In stark contrast to Highland, Moon Palace excels with a wealth of ranged attackers, primarily mages and archers. This allows them to decimate enemies from a distance, but makes them vulnerable if opponents close the gap. The guide points out their strength lies in utilizing these ranged units effectively, and introduces significant characters like Queen Titializing, and her generals such as Dine, Kobach, Slade, and Giga. Finally, there's a useful guide on recommended generals to recruit from other nations. It suggests characters like Shilby and Marshall from Bozak, and Leone and Parcel from Moon Palace itself, advising players on who to seek out to bolster their forces, often filling gaps in their army composition, like adding magic users to a physical army. This page continues the deep dive into the nations of Dragon Force, this time focusing on the Izumo and Bozak kingdoms and providing helpful recruitment tips. First up is the Izumo Kingdom, highlighted as a nation primarily relying on Ashigaru infantry. This setup makes it a challenge for beginners but rewards strategic play by focusing on personal combat prowess. The guide features key generals like King Michal and Juzo, emphasizing their strength in duels and battlefield leadership. It also notes that recruiting magic users like Mia can significantly bolster their limited unit variety. Next is the Bozak Kingdom, known for its powerful beast units. While they may lack unit diversity, their raw power compensates, led by King Gongos. Generals like Boogie, Mani, and Uni are introduced, showcasing their combat abilities. The guide suggests supplementing their forces with magic users to cover weaknesses. Finally, there's a helpful recruitment guide, recommending specific generals from other nations to recruit into your army. It suggests adding characters like Eris and Marine to an Izumo force for much-needed magic, or looking to generals like Ransel or Ururu for Bozak to enhance their tactical options. The page features character portraits and screenshots of army battles, illustrating the combat on the map screen. This guide to Dragon Force explores 2 powerful nations, Topaz Kingdom and Tristan Empire. The Topaz Kingdom, led by King Leon, excels in defense and focuses on building an army around Topaz Castle. Strategic recruits like Zuta, Mioria, and Mi normally are recommended. The Tristan Empire, ruled by Emperor Jujiganon, boasts a versatile army, starting strong with knights and soldiers. Key figures include Jujiganon and Kiliko. Early recruits such as Gustav and Ramzai are highly valuable. The guide provides tailored recruitment advice, suggesting Sergio and Hagane for Topaz to bolster their forces. For Tristan, Leone and the mage Igracio are recommended to fill strategic gaps. The page highlights character portraits and battle screenshots. This page is a deep dive into Panzer Dragoon Saga, offering advanced strategies for mastering the game, achieving 100% completion, and maximizing your score. It breaks down the game's core systems, starting with how branching paths are determined based on player actions at specific decision points, often tied to hitting certain score thresholds or actions. The guide also details the dragon's evolution system, explaining how points accumulated during episodes influence the dragon's form and capabilities. It shows different evolutionary stages like the Dragon Hatch, Dragon Glide, Dragon Wind, and the powerful Dragon Sky Dart, along with the Brigadier Wing variation, noting unlock conditions like accumulating sufficient points. Furthermore, the page deciphers the end of episode score screen, clarifying what each metric represents, such as total enemies, enemies destroyed, shot down ratio, and how these contribute to the final score, and crucial total points that affect evolution and routing. Screenshots illustrate gameplay, branching points, and the various dragon forms. It's a crucial resource for anyone looking to truly conquer Panzer Dragoon Saga beyond a simple playthrough. This page is a deep dive into achieving 100% completion and maximizing your score in Panzer Dragoon Saga. It breaks down strategies for each episode and route, highlighting key challenges and providing expert tips. The guide emphasizes the importance of careful targeting and knowing enemy patterns to ensure every last enemy is destroyed, particularly on tougher routes like Episode 2 Right
or Episode 3 left. It points out specific tricky spots, such as dealing with enemies appearing out of sight, handling the difficult commander enemy by targeting it at the peak of its jump, and preventing the nimble Terrans from escaping in Episode 5. Strategies are also given for tackling large groups like the Beefly Swarm and fast-vanishing enemies. The page also touches upon Panzer trivia, including advice for players struggling to clear the game and details on the unlockable Pandora's Box options. These unlockables offer modifiers like a doubled berserk gauge, level selection, the return of the rolling maneuver from the original game, reticle speed adjustment, and a sound test, providing incentive for players to master the game and achieve high scores. It's clear this guide is aimed at dedicated players looking to fully conquer Panzer Dragoon Saga. This page is a comprehensive guide for players aiming to achieve high scores in Panzer Dragoon Saga. It emphasizes that reaching 100% completion is crucial, with the score heavily influenced by the number of enemies locked onto during defeat. The guide breaks down the scoring mechanics, explaining how points are awarded based on enemy health and the attack method used, shot, lock-on, or berserk, highlighting that lock-on kills yield significantly higher points. It also details the boss time bonus, rewarding players for quickly defeating bosses, with higher multipliers based on the difficulty level chosen. The core of the guide lies in episode-specific strategies, offering tailored advice for maximizing points in each stage from Episode 1 through 5. It pinpoints lucrative areas and enemies, such as continuously attacking the commander in Episode 1, targeting weak enemies around the rotating cannon in Episode 2, ignoring weak foes to focus on the high-scoring Naga in Episode 3, leveraging the numerous lock-on targets and large enemies like the Terrans in Episode 4, and utilizing specific methods to defeat bosses like Ashura, Bozeman, and Landora for maximum yield and hidden bonuses. The strategies often involve prioritizing certain targets, knowing when to use berserk attacks, and uncovering hidden point bonuses scattered throughout the levels, providing expert tips for players looking to squeeze every possible point out of their playthrough. This page provides a strategic walkthrough for the initial 2 days of the mystery adventure game, Nomura Hospital People, focusing on key actions to progress and unravel the story. This page serves as an essential guide for the first 2 days of the game. Ode, a thrilling adventure title. It emphasizes the importance of player choices in being recognized as a genius detective, and highlights that understanding the complex relationships between the various characters within the hospital is paramount. The guide encourages players to pay close attention to the game's opening and dialogue, as crucial information is presented early on. A detailed character relationship diagram visually maps out connections between patients, staff, and other key individuals, stressing that while it shows the initial state, unexpected events will unfold. Tips cover being observant, acting cautiously, and effectively utilizing the save feature, which is crucial for navigating the game's branching paths and avoiding dead ends. Screenshots showcase various character interactions and scenes from the game, giving players a glimpse into the intriguing setting. This page provides a detailed walkthrough for the crucial first day of the mystery adventure game, Nomura Hospital People. It splits the day into 2 halves, guiding the player through essential steps for information gathering and initial investigations. The first half emphasizes diligently collecting information. Players navigate the hospital, encountering key characters like Siste, Chisato, and Miho. The guide highlights that interactions and choices influence character-specific points, such as Pri points and Miho points, which significantly impact the game's story and ending. Screenshots show these character introductions and various locations like the lobby and cafeteria. Moving into the second half of the day, the strategy shifts to bolder actions. A critical event involves a challenging interrogation by Yayeko, the director's wife. The guide warns that incorrect answers can lead to a game over, stressing the need to recall previously gathered information and save progress beforehand. Later, players investigate the director's room, uncovering secrets and potentially needing to help Chisato. This section underscores the game's branching paths and the consequences of player decisions, pushing the narrative forward towards uncovering the hospital's mysteries. The page effectively maps out the initial flow of events, preparing players for the intrigue and dangers ahead. This page delves into the strategy for Day 2 of Nomura Hospital People, splitting the day into 2 halves to guide the player through crucial events and decisions. The first half marks the beginning of the full-scale investigation. Players are advised to use their deduction skills and act optimally to uncover the truth. Key events include encountering Kanako, Peach's friend, gathering information by moving around the hospital and talking to staff like the director, and discovering evidence like a cigarette box on the roof.
The guide highlights showing this evidence to Kanako to observe her reaction, suggesting it's a significant step. Moving into the second half of Day 2, the guide warns that suspicious actions by a key character will force the player into difficult choices. A major dilemma is presented when the player encounters Miho and Sake, requiring a choice between pursuing a potentially intimate scene with Miho or continuing the investigation with Sake. The page emphasizes that these choices are critical and lead to different outcomes. A later section details thoroughly investigating by interviewing characters, leading to a final critical choice that determines which ending is reached, specifically showcasing information about Ending 2. The action charts on either side serve as visual roadmaps, outlining the flow of events and decision points throughout the day. The magazine stresses the need for careful consideration as the player navigates these challenging parts of the game. This page dives deep into the first chapter of the H-Game Ken Bunny premiere, providing a comprehensive strategy guide focusing on the branching paths of the first day. It breaks down the myriad of choices the player faces, represented through extensive flowcharts keyed to different situations. The guide explains that depending on the decisions made during this crucial first day, the story will branch significantly, leading to different outcomes for the start of Day 2. The page also introduces key characters the player will encounter, including Miyuki, described as a cool beauty with a potentially distant demeanor who might warm up, and Yuma, an energetic and cheerful girl who works alongside the protagonist. A small screenshot shows a glimpse of the game's visual style. The guide notes that Day 1 can conclude in one of 3 distinct patterns, setting the stage for the subsequent days, and promises that the strategy for Day 2 onwards will be covered on the following page. It encourages players to use the flowcharts to explore different scenarios and find their desired route. This page continues the deep dive into the H-Game Ken Bunny premiere, specifically focusing on strategy for Day 2 and beyond. It explains that the storyline and dating options significantly change based on how you ended Day 1. The goal from Day 2 onwards is generally to focus on dating a specific girl, and while you can't initiate dates just by talking, you can arrange them via phone calls after completing Day 2. The guide highlights dating strategies for 2 key characters introduced earlier, Yukishiro and Yuma. Dating Yukishiro is described as tricky, with a high chance of a game over if you make a wrong move. The strategy emphasizes carefully following the flowchart and paying attention to details like interacting with the hotel staff. The accompanying image shows Yukishiro in both a formal dress and a more casual outfit, hinting at different date scenarios. Dating Yuma offers a chance to see a variety of graphics. The recommended path to unlock specific scenes is to follow the left flowchart route leading to the mirror house. Images depict Yuma in casual wear and in suggestive poses, including a partial F scene, illustrating the game's content. Finally, the page touches on how to trigger the F scenes, referring to them as attack methods. It states, there are specific methods for each girl, but only one selectable method is available initially, which is linked to your cumulative actions up to that point. This requires players to actively explore different choices to unlock these scenes. This page features a comprehensive strategy guide for Mission 7, titled Kahe Plain Retreat, in the Sega Saturn game, Gungrafon, the Eurasian Conflict. The mission objective is to protect the retreating 103rd Unit as they are attacked from both the front and rear. The guide emphasizes that enemy movement patterns are crucial, and highlights the importance of striking before the enemy mobilizes. Key strategies include eliminating the enemy vanguard within the first 20 seconds, and listening for DLS, Direct Link System, messages, which signal enemy actions starting at the 20-second mark. Dealing with patrolling helicopters early is also advised, using the machine gun. The guide provides specific timing notes for when different enemy waves appear, including tough targets like HIMAX, which require heavy firepower like RP, rocket propellant, rounds. Screenshots illustrate gameplay moments, showing the map, radar, and engagements with various enemy units like helicopters and tanks. The page also includes tables detailing the stats and weaponry of both enemy and friendly units, providing valuable tactical information for players. Overall, this is a detailed walkthrough aimed at helping players successfully navigate this challenging defensive mission. This page features a comprehensive strategy guide for the game Chokyu Senshi Gariba Boy, specifically focusing on the various items available. The guide breaks down items by their use, explaining how they can impact battles and aid the player and their party. It covers battle items that can inflict status effects on enemies or deal damage, recovery items crucial for survival,
and even items typically used for trading, which possess hidden uses in battle or elsewhere. A unique aspect highlighted is the ability to feed certain items to the companion, Phoebe, for different results. The guide stresses the importance of maintaining a healthy stock of recovery items as a fundamental strategy. It also provides specific advice for boss battles, such as using ice element attacks against the boss Misty to gain an advantage. Screenshots display item menus, item usage in battle, and a boss encounter, illustrating the information provided in the accompanying tables, which list item names, effects, and categories like recovery, support, or attack. This is a valuable resource for players looking to master item usage in the game.
This page provides a strategy guide for the first half of the adventure game 3x3 Eyes, Kyusei Kushu, covering both the Shikoku and Taiwan scenarios up to their halfway points. It begins by introducing the main antagonist, Beelzebul, and details her involvement in the mysterious events unfolding. The guide is split into sections for each scenario. The Shikoku section describes the investigation into strange happenings in a village, leading to encounters with local legends, and eventually confronting powerful foes orchestrated by Beelzebul, including the revival of the legendary Thunderfish. Screenshots show key moments, like exploring the village and battling creatures. The Taiwan section focuses on a decaying building and its secrets. It outlines the investigation process, the appearance of the building's owner, and the subsequent disappearance of a young boy. The narrative escalates as Yakumo and Pai face off against demons within the building, ultimately leading to a dramatic confrontation. A key plot point highlighted is the discovery of the truth behind the boy's disappearance, and the emotional climax of that story arc. The page also clearly marks a crucial branching point in the game, where the player must decide which scenario to tackle first, influencing the progression. Overall, it's a concise walkthrough aimed at guiding players through the initial stages of this supernatural adventure, highlighting major plot developments and boss encounters. This page dives into a strategy guide for Angelique Special, focusing on maximizing your relationship with the Guardian Saints and achieving different endings. It highlights key points for success, moving beyond just the love-based endings to explore other possibilities. A major focus is on the Guardian Saints themselves, providing personal data for several prominent characters like Julius, Clavis, and Luva, including their age, height, birth date, and compatibility ratings with the player and other Guardians. These profiles are essential for understanding how to build relationships effectively. The guide also breaks down interest events and how they trigger, explaining that spending time alone with a Guardian is key, and that events change based on intimacy levels. It warns about potential pitfalls, like other characters interrupting or relationship levels dropping. Tips are given on recovering relationships. Furthermore, it covers different ending scenarios beyond the standard romance, such as becoming the queen alongside a specific guardian, or even ending up as the queen's assistant by building a strong bond with Rosalia. It also touches upon endings involving multiple guardians, or even a strong relationship with Rosalia alone. The page includes charming mini-comics depicting interactions with the guardians, adding a lighthearted touch to the strategic advice. It concludes with a section specifically addressing male players, discussing why the game appeals to women, but also noting its potential enjoyment for everyone, suggesting future discussions on the topic. This page presents a strategy guide for mastering the character Jackie Bryant in Virtua Fighter 2. It delves into effective tactics using his core moves, emphasizing the power and timing of the somersault kick, particularly when used after combos or against opponents blocking low. The guide also details the slant back knuckle, explaining its utility in linking attacks and offering advice on inputting it rapidly for sustained pressure. Additionally, it covers the side hook kick, highlighting its use as a quick poking tool, a potential counter, and its incorporation into offensive sequences. The page features screenshots demonstrating these moves and tactics in gameplay scenarios. This page provides a detailed strategy guide for playing as Sarah Bryant in Virtua Fighter 2. It focuses on mastering powerful techniques based on option selects and precise timing using the DPAD. The guide breaks down tactics after hitting with an elbow, offering follow-up options including knee kicks or setting up for somersaults. It also covers strategies when the opponent guards the elbow, suggesting delay inputs, and setting up low punches or spin kicks. A significant portion is dedicated to utilizing the spin turn kick G-cancel as a core VF2 mechanic for powerful mid/low mix-ups from a back-turn stance. The guide also explains effective uses of the low punch as a counter, including automatic 2-option attacks using specific button combinations,
and potential combinations after landing a successful counter. It highlights how these seemingly simple techniques are potent when applied correctly, emphasizing reading the opponent and using delay inputs. Screenshots demonstrate the various move executions and strategic situations discussed. This page features the AM2 Lab Fan section, Volume 5, focusing primarily on the fighting game Sonic the Fighters. Following up from the previous issue's coverage of Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Amy, this section details the unique special attacks of the remaining characters: Bean, Bark, Fang, and Espio. Bean the Dynamite uses explosives for his attacks, while Bark the Polar Bear is highlighted as a throw-based character, also utilizing a snowboard. Fang, known internationally as Knack the Weasel or Fang the Sniper, wields a cork gun with a long range. Espio the Chameleon employs his long tongue and even invisibility in combat. Screenshots demonstrate these characters and their signature moves. The left side of the page includes reader contributions, such as Virtua Fighter discussion mail, and fan illustrations, including pieces featuring Sarah Bryant. There's also a note about a new record time achieved in the Saturn version of Virtua Fighter 2.
This page delves into Virtua Fighter Kids, noting that despite the cute, chibi-style characters, it's still a challenging game. It provides a detailed comparison to Virtua Fighter 2, highlighting key differences in techniques, combos, and character mechanics, suggesting that muscle memory from VF2 might not directly translate. The article covers basic techniques and combos, with specific sections dedicated to Akira and Pei. Akira is described as still powerful despite his appearance, with a focus on PK cancel techniques. Pai is noted to have received a power-up, but retains her fundamental style. There's also a fun element discussed regarding messages that appear during winning streaks, and a final sequence of screenshots showing a dramatic moment in the game. This page continues the deep dive into Virtua Fighter Kids, showcasing more of the cast and their updated movesets and combos. It covers Laku, Jeffrey, Wolf, and Cage, breaking down their key differences from Virtua Fighter 2 and highlighting their strengths in the chibi arena. Lau is noted as still formidable, particularly with air combos and PK cancels. Jeffrey remains a powerhouse, with his signature knee attack combo still viable, and a nasty new 4-hit uppercut combo to watch out for. Wolf is presented as a character with minimal changes, maintaining his solid foundation but gaining new air combo possibilities. Cage, on the other hand, is described as being significantly powered up in Kids, boasting a strong PK cancel game and potent air combos. For each character, the page provides detailed screenshots illustrating both basic and more advanced Kids combos, giving players essential tools for mastering their favorite fighters in this unique version of Virtua Fighter. This page continues the dive into Virtua Fighter Kids, covering more of the cast. Sarah Bryant is highlighted as a top-tier character in this version, with her reliable round kick and powerful PK cancel game making her a formidable opponent. Shundi is discussed, noting his playful nature in the game and emphasizing his strong close-range game and ability to handle counters effectively. Jackie Bryant is presented as stable and strong as ever, with his signature sliding knee attack combo still a key move, and the text points out that his PK cancel combos are particularly effective in Kids. Finally, Lion Raphael is shown, described as even younger in this title. His fighting style remains largely unchanged, but the text notes challenges against Akira, and mentions specific techniques to counter him, showcasing detailed combo breakdowns for each character with accompanying screenshots. This page highlights two different events. First, it announces the SEGA Cup Strongest Club Decision Tournament for the game J.League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru. Players are encouraged to submit the passwords of their best clubs, developed over 10 virtual years of gameplay, to compete for the title of Strongest Club and win original goods. The competition involves selection by the magazine's editorial team, followed by a final tournament. The page also presents the results of the second photo CD contest, hosted by Saturn Fan and 3D Magazine, showcasing several winning entries, including photos awarded the Sega Saturn Award, Japan Kodak Award, and Panasonic R.E.AL Award, covering a range of subjects from landscapes and nature to portraits. This page is split into two distinct features. On the left, it highlights Mahjong Dokusei Special for the Sega Saturn, a game combining Mahjong gameplay with the popular characters from the Dokusei series. The feature showcases key character artwork and small profile images, emphasizing the game's appeal through sexy voices, nice body matching, and enjoyable Mahjong action. It promises exciting visuals and strategic depth with the beloved characters. On the right,
The page presents a continuation of a manga or comic strip, titled Continuation from page 84. This section features dialogue panels between several characters, depicting a narrative sequence with dramatic expressions and action lines. It appears to be an ongoing story within the magazine, concluding with a character profile providing some background information. This page features the continuation of the manga story from the previous pages. We see intense action sequences, including a character battling a large, furry creature, and other characters reacting with surprise and concern. The dialogue reveals reactions to events unfolding, with one character commenting on how they were easily overlooked or underestimated. The narrative seems to involve the Star Dragon Warrior and the King of Highland. At the bottom of the page, a character profile introduces Legendary Man Number 3, Minorca, Leonard, describing him as having a paradoxical personality, being a skilled demon slayer and minstrel, though he's poor at singing but gifted in magic. The dialogue and visuals depict a dramatic confrontation.
This page continues the manga narrative from the previous page, focusing on intense combat and emotional reactions. We see the armored character, likely Minorca, locked in battle with the large creature, with dialogue questioning belief and suggesting the potential end of the world if faith is lost. The text emphasizes that he has to keep fighting alone until he can find allies. Other panels show observing characters reacting with concern and disappointment. A character profile at the bottom right introduces Leonie, identified as Legendary Woman of Legendora 1 and a former Moon Palace Queen candidate. It explains that she lost a beauty contest called the Ceremony of Creation to Tilly's and was so humiliated she raised her own private guard and started an army. This page continues the battle narrative, showing the large creature and the armored character, likely Minorca, locked in combat surrounded by other soldiers. Leonie is seen stating that she cannot let Lord Wayne go alone, emphasizing he is their king and that their current mission is to quickly find the second person to make things clear. Other characters react to the events, with Ignacio appearing distressed and Uni smiling. At the bottom, Lilia questions why there is no Seven Warrior among them. The page also features character profiles introducing Uni, a competitive young commander, and Lilia, a pure priestess who is unexpectedly part of Goldark's army, expanding on the cast within the Legendora setting. This page features a short manga strip at the top, where characters resembling those discussed on the previous page, including King Wayne and Lady Thyra, engage in a tense dialogue about meeting Wayne and potential conflict, concluding with a panel directing the reader to continue the story within the game. The majority of the page is dedicated to the Game Research Lab, a strategy section offering assistance to Sega Saturn players. It lists several games covered in this issue, including World Advanced Daisen Ryaku, J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru, Victory Goal, 96, The Tower, Tenchi Muyo, Ryohiki Onsen, Yukemuri no Tabi, and Nanatsu no Hikan. The main focus is a detailed strategy guide for World Advanced Daisen Ryaku's virtual campaign, specifically tackling the final maps from Battle 6 to the ending across two possible patterns. The guide shows a scenario branching chart and provides in-depth advice for missions like the 20th scenario, emphasizing the critical need to swiftly defeat border defenses early due to limited resources, stressing a 15-turn deadline for a major victory. The section includes recommended attack routes and data on both friendly and enemy forces. This page continues the World Advanced Daisen Ryaku Strategy Guide, covering scenarios from the mid-game like Bear's Den and Time of Hibernation, 21 and 23, through to the final battles around Scenario 26, titled Final Battle in Cooperation with Allies. Steadily advancing is the safe plan. The guide emphasizes crucial strategies for these later stages, early scenarios, stress the importance of initial deployment, and concentrating sufficient force. For challenges like Conqueror of the Main Road, 24, the advice is to break through the center and use a two-pronged attack, noting the enemy commander is vulnerable to air power. As the campaign progresses into maps like Kingdom's Lamplight, 25, and the final scenarios, the focus shifts to dealing with advanced enemy aircraft and coordinating movements with allied forces, recommending a steady, cautious advance as the safest path to victory. Each scenario section includes operational briefings, details on friendly and enemy units and their positions, and visual aids showing map layouts and suggested attack routes to help players overcome these difficult late-game challenges. This guide for J.League Pro Soccer Club, Wo Tsukuru,
focuses on player development and club management. The core strategy involves upgrading facilities to enhance training efficiency and player stats. Upgrading the clubhouse with rooms for speed training, medical care, and massage improves various player parameters and reduces injuries. Similarly, ground improvements boost training gains.
Overseas training is another crucial element.
Sending players abroad, especially when their stats stagnate, can significantly raise their limits and improve their abilities. Different countries specialize in different skill sets, such as defensive skills in Europe and attacking attributes in South America. The guide also includes a sample club progression and encourages reader questions. Strategic facility investment and overseas training are the keys to building a successful J.League team. This page for J.League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru delves into the tactical side of the game, focusing on team formations and individual player capabilities essential for success. It starts by explaining the different basic systems, formations, adopted by each of the 16 J-League clubs in the game, such as the standard 442, the attacking 352, or the more defensive 451. Understanding these systems and their strengths and weaknesses is crucial for strategy. The core of the page then shifts to player data, showcasing the abilities of individual players from various teams. It explains the abbreviations used in the stat tables, covering everything from position and back number to key attributes like kick power, kick control, heading control, speed, dribbling speed, dash speed, stamina, height/jump power, and dominant foot. The numbers represent a score for each ability, allowing players to see the strengths and weaknesses of specific individuals. The tables themselves list players from clubs like Kashima Antlers, Jeff United Ichihara, Kashiwa Reysol, and Urawa Red Diamonds, providing the detailed stats that underpin their performance on the field. This data is vital for recruitment, training focus, and selecting your starting lineup and substitutes, tying directly into the club management aspects discussed on the previous page. This page transitions to Victory Goal 96, presenting detailed player statistics for several J-League teams. It lists attributes like kicking power, speed, stamina, and dominant foot for players across clubs including Verdy Kawasaki, Yokohama Marinos, Nagoya Grampus Eights, and others, serving as a guide to individual player capabilities within the game. This page dives deep into SimTower, breaking down how to build a successful high-rise. It focuses heavily on the crucial role of elevators, explaining how efficient placement is key to keeping your tenants happy and your tower thriving. The guide covers essential tips, like strategically placing different tenant types around the lobby, understanding the efficiency range of elevators,
and even managing resident stress caused by long commutes.
It also touches upon security with the Securum Room, and outlines different strategies for building progression depending on the city type you're in, guiding you from a basic structure towards the ultimate goal, the Great Cathedral. It's clear this is a comprehensive strategy guide, aimed at mastering the simulation aspects of running a massive building. The next page offers comprehensive guides for two distinct Sega Saturn titles. First up is a detailed walkthrough for Tenchi Muyo Ryuki Misty Hot Spring Journey. It features a clear branching chart that maps out how player choices lead to different paths, and ultimately to one of 3 unique hot springs. Each hot spring visit triggers special character events, with appearances from fan favorites like Kiyone, Mihoshi, Mimiri, Juki, and Aka, leading to different endings and bonus scenarios. The guide emphasizes exploring all paths to achieve 100% completion. Below that, there's an in-depth look at the first mansion and 7th mansion. This section provides a floor plan for the first floor, mid-second floor, and second floor, serving as an essential map for navigating the complex layout. It explains how to solve the mansion's many puzzles, which often involve card-themed tricks centered around spades. Players must find trump cards and interact with elements like statues, paintings, and switches to unlock new areas and uncover the mansion's secrets, including the puzzle involving the Queen's Laughter. These guides are invaluable for players aiming to fully explore and complete both games. This page presents a reader survey offering a chance to win prizes. The giveaway includes various Sega Saturn software titles and a Nights into Dreams telecard featuring new artwork. Notable game prizes include the challenging shooter Dodonpachi, the atmospheric RPG Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, and the compilation Irem Arcade Classics. The survey itself delves into reader demographics, preferred magazine content, gaming habits, and purchasing trends across different hardware platforms, including the Sega Saturn. To assist readers in answering, the page provides lists of articles featured this month, other gaming magazines, various hardware platforms, and a substantial list of Sega Saturn software. Instructions are also included on how to properly fill out the entry postcard for a valid submission.
This page features an interview with scholar publishers, exploring their approach to bringing accessible, bookstore-style games to the Sega Saturn. They discuss their concept and current projects, including the puzzle game, Minami no Shima ni Buta ga Ita, as they enter the Saturn market. The page also showcases two significant upcoming Sega Saturn releases. The arcade hit Dodonpachi is making its way to the console, bringing its legendary shoot-'em-up action, intense laser bomb, and formidable bosses, alongside a new get-point scoring system. Additionally, there's coverage of the Demon Compendium for Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner. This Saturn release is a CG library dedicated to bringing the demons from the game world to life in computer graphics, compatible with the Shuttle Mouse peripheral. Both Dodonpachi and the Demon Compendium are scheduled for release on April 26th. This page provides an exciting update on the Sega Saturn port of the classic dating simulation game, Dokusei If. It proudly announces the first public reveal of original artwork created specifically for this Saturn version. The report highlights a significant enhancement for the Saturn release. The scenario volume has been dramatically increased. Unlike previous versions where some characters had limited roles, the Saturn port elevates every character to main character status, ensuring a richer experience for players pursuing any potential love interest. Featured prominently are stunning artworks of two heroines from the game, giving a taste of the visual quality. There's also a dedicated section introducing Kyoko Sakuragi, the younger sister of the main heroine, suggesting she plays a more significant role in this iteration. Smaller screenshots scattered throughout the page show the game's locations and character sprites, promising the faithful recreation of the original's charm with added content for the Saturn. This looks like a comprehensive update for fans of the series. This page continues the detailed look at the Sega Saturn port of Dokusei If, focusing on new scenario content and showcasing high-quality visuals. It highlights the expanded role of rival character Kenji Aizawa, discussing how the Saturn version includes new events where the player can directly confront him in the battle for Mai-chan's affection, a significant addition facilitated by special choices in the game. The article also points out a new illustration showing character Satomi in her school uniform, discussing how this appearance fits into the game's events, despite the summer setting. The main draw is the grand unveiling of new visual scenes created for the Saturn, emphasizing their quality and dynamic angles. 8 new visuals are shown, including anticipated scenes featuring canon, and the page teases slightly suggestive moments, focusing on accidental glimpses rather than explicit content, which the reviewer seems quite excited about. The overall tone emphasizes the effort put into enhancing the visuals and scenario for this Saturn release. This page introduces the unpredictable world of manager work in the game debut AS, a simulation game about training idol groups. It focuses on the various sudden events that can occur during the 2 years of training, highlighting that the job has its ups and downs. We see a large illustration of one of the idol characters, followed by group shots of the main girls. The page explains that these events make the training period anything but smooth, covering a wide range from the dramatic to the scandalous. Examples of events shown include a girl going missing, idols getting sick from exhaustion, and even potentially scandalous situations like cohabitation. The game also throws unexpected accidents at rival groups, which can sometimes benefit the player. However, it's not all bad. The page also previews positive events like Valentine's Day and dates with the idols. The variety of these random events keeps the gameplay engaging, showing how different situations, both challenging and rewarding, can deepen the bond between the manager and the idols. The page emphasizes that overcoming the negative events is key to success. There's also a small data section providing basic game information like genre and release details.
This page shifts focus to Graduation S, a high school training simulation game where you take on the role of a teacher guiding female students towards graduation. It emphasizes the rich variety of events packed into the school year. Beyond just studying, the students participate in numerous activities like concerts and school plays, where achieving good results earns their praise and influences parameters. The game also features unpredictable, sudden events that can occur, keeping you on your toes, and requires you to pay attention to the students' daily moods. Taking care of students during breaks is also highlighted, with opportunities for communication during summer and winter holidays, whether it's a trip to the beach, a skiing excursion, or part-time jobs. It's a chance to build deeper connections. The page previews the potential futures of the 5 main students after graduation, offering a glimpse into the different paths they might take based on your guidance. These outcomes range from becoming an idol or getting married, to potentially surprising or less ideal results like becoming an AV actress, an office lady, OL, or even being held back a year. The success and path of each student are determined by your teaching methods and their potential. This page dives into Beyond Oasis, known as Thor, the Elemental Lords in Japan, announcing its completion and featuring an exclusive interview with the development team from Ancient. Led by the legendary Yuzo Koshiro, known for his groundbreaking game music compositions, the team discusses the game's unique aspects just before its release. Yuzo Koshiro highlights the game's soundtrack, describing it as a classic 19th century orchestral style that enhances the action and atmosphere. He also mentions the sheer volume and variety of sound effects used to make the battles impactful. Ayano Koshiro, responsible for graphics and character design, and Wataru Uchimura, the chief planner, share insights into the game's design philosophy and gameplay mechanics. A key feature discussed is the command-based special attacks, adding depth to combat beyond standard hits. Players can unleash powerful moves by inputting specific commands, and these special abilities change depending on the equipped weapon. The page showcases the 4 main weapon types: sword, bow, spear, and the bracelet, used to summon elementals, explaining how they offer distinct fighting styles and special moves. Bombs and other items are also mentioned as crucial for progression. The team emphasizes exploring the world to discover hidden secrets and techniques, encouraging players to experiment with different strategies. Screenshots illustrate the top-down action, elemental summons, and various weapons in action, giving a glimpse into the vibrant world and engaging combat. This page continues the exploration of Beyond Oasis, known as Thor, the Elemental Lords in Japan, highlighting its unique presentation and key gameplay elements. The developers showcase the game's innovative map design, which incorporates height and is viewed from a 60-degree angle, creating a more dynamic fantasy world. They also emphasize the richly animated characters and their fluid movements. A major focus is placed on the 6 elemental spirits available in this version, a significant increase from the previous iteration. Each elemental possesses distinct abilities crucial for combat, puzzle solving, and exploration. These include spirits focused on healing, powerful fire attacks, physical manipulation and enemy control, wind-based movement and offense, ground attacks and item searching, and sound-based attacks. The page also touches upon techniques needed to navigate the world, such as using jumps and crouching to overcome obstacles. Developer interviews continue, offering insights into character design and the specific roles envisioned for each elemental, reinforcing how they integrate into the gameplay experience. This page dives into the world of Mega Man X3, focusing on the core elements that make the series popular: stage design and action. It highlights how players can power up X and utilize Zero's assistance to take down enemy Reploids. The main objective is to halt Drive Doppler's ambitions and bring peace back to Doppler Town. Players will navigate through 8 stages, each culminating in a boss battle. Defeating bosses grants X their unique special weapons, offering various effects. The page details X's fundamental actions, like dashing, jumping, and the powerful charge shot, which becomes a piercing projectile. Zero is introduced as a support character, possessing a strong beam saber and the ability to launch powerful shots. While Zero is formidable, he primarily serves as an assist and cannot battle bosses directly. Enhancing X is key, achieved through collecting items hidden in stages, obtaining special weapons from defeated bosses, finding armor parts that upgrade X's abilities, like a variable air dash or stronger charge shot, and utilizing the powerful ride armors found in certain locations. Screenshots showcase various gameplay moments, including boss encounters like Violin Hornet, stage layouts, and the different power-ups available. This page effectively previews Mega Man X3, showcasing its deep action mechanics and the exciting enhancements available to X and the unique role of Zero. Mega brief summary. This page details Mega Man X3's action, stage structure, X's abilities, Zero's support role, and various power-ups like special weapons, armor, and ride armors. The next page features the action-packed Sega CD title, Ranma 1/2, Byakuran Aika, highlighting the return of Ranma-chan on the Mega CD. The game is described as a highly addictive action spectacle, featuring comical characters and lively direction. The core premise sees Ranma on a quest to retrieve a stolen treasure from Dr. Pon.
This journey involves navigating unique Edo period stages filled with bizarre characters. The action gameplay revolves around running, jumping, and throwing objects. Expanding on the previous shooting-focused title, a new rival is introduced: Princess Jamuko Jusanpu, the 13th generation queen of Yamataikoku, who is also after the treasure, adding a dynamic conflict between Ranma, Drive, Pon, and Jamuko. The page details Ranma's attack methods, including standard kicks, throwing objects found in stages, and using special weapons like the Dream Hot Spring and Hope's Blade Grass. It also showcases how to use basic movement, like dashing and jumping effectively. A breakdown of the first 3 acts is provided, describing the settings and key events. Act 1 starts in Autumn Mountain, Act 2 involves a train and a ship, and Act 3 takes place in an amusement park and aquarium. The screenshots display various gameplay moments, boss encounters, and stage environments, including dynamic shooting stages. The game progresses in a basic action format, with boss battles at the end of certain stages, and showdowns with the rival. This page is packed with hidden commands and tricks for a selection of Sega Saturn games, presented as hyper-ultech secrets to give players an edge. It features popular titles like Gungriffon, The King of Fighters 95, Panzer Dragoon Saga, and several others including J-League Professional Soccer Club, My Best Friend, St. Andrew's Girls' School Chapter, Quiz 365, World Advanced Tactics, Sakusen File, and Fishing Koshin. For Gungriffon, players can find codes to alter enemy radar visibility, remove target markers, or even make foes tougher for a greater challenge. King of Fighters 95 Secrets reveal how to unlock boss characters Omega Rugal or Orochi Iori, and lists special move inputs for characters like Iori Yagami and Eiji Kisaragi. Panzer Dragoon Saga offers commands to change the radar type, and even a self-destruct option. Other tips include a face customization mode in J.League Professional Soccer Club, accessing hidden content in My Best Friend, pausing mid-quiz in Quiz 365, adjusting battle views in World Advanced Tactics, and jumping straight to the winner's bracket in Fishing Koshin. This page provides valuable shortcuts and unlocks for those looking to explore these Saturn classics further. This page dives into more hyper-ultech secrets for Sega Saturn games, offering players various cheats and hidden features. You'll find tips for titles like Roadrunner, The Legend Returns, the fighting game Hyper 3D Fighter Gearboxers, the Japanese-only DX Jinsei game, The King of Fighters 95, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Rayman, Wizards Harmony, J-League Professional Soccer Club, and Gungriffon, the Eurasian Conflict. Roadrunner players can learn how to amass treasure effortlessly and instantly view the score ranking. For Hyper 3D Fighter Gearboxers, there are commands to display opponent moves and access a simple options menu. DX Jinsei game offers a trick for repeated shopping. King of Fighters 95 players can find out how to save their custom-ideated teams. Fans of Neon Genesis Evangelion can discover the specific steps and conditions required to unlock the ability to pilot Unit 02. Rayman players get a simple button input to hide the pose display. Wizards Harmony features details on unlocking special hidden events involving the characters Cecil and the Student Council President, tied to specific dates and requirements. J.League Professional Soccer Club offers a shortcut to start the game with a substantial amount of money. Finally, Gungriffon includes a minor visual trick involving a windmill. The page also includes a call for players to submit their own game tips for future publication. This page dives into the high-octane world of Donpachi, detailing its exhilarating shooting action and the new features arriving on the Sega Saturn port. It highlights the core gameplay loop of blasting enemies for that satisfying rush. The article explains the 2 primary shot types, a standard rapid-fire shot and a powerful laser activated by holding the fire button, each with different power-up levels. It also covers the essential bomb weapon, which clears the screen and provides temporary invincibility. A key focus is on the 3 distinct ship types available. Taipei boasts high firepower and the fastest movement but narrower shots. Taipei allows for strategic control of its options, making it suited for skilled players, though it's slower than Taipei. Taipei is the most beginner-friendly,
featuring a wide shot pattern, but is the slowest of the three. Exclusive to the Saturn version is the Score Attack mode, allowing players to challenge themselves for high scores. Related to this is the Extra Information display, which provides detailed stats about your gameplay history, like total playtime and clear counts. The page also mentions options for screen size adjustment, including modes for vertical arcade displays and scaling for standard TVs. Finally, it touches on the various items that appear, offering power-ups, extra bombs, extends, and a temporary maximum power-up, alongside the Get Point system, which rewards players with bonus points for destroying enemies in quick succession, encouraging aggressive and precise play. This guide explores the initial areas of Donpachi, highlighting the escalating difficulty. Area 1, a forest and plain, serves as a tutorial, familiarizing players with controls and basic enemies. Area 2, set in the sea and canyon, introduces a battleship boss and more significant challenges. Area 3, the Fortress Headland, focuses on relentless enemy waves from a different world, signaling a difficulty increase. Finally, Area 4, a Great Snow Mountain, is the most challenging so far, featuring dense enemy formations and high attack speeds. The guide also incorporates warning sections, alerting players to difficult bosses and patterns. Overall, it prepares players for the game's progressively intense stages. This page features the RPG Great Adventure, The Miracle of St. Elmo, set during the Age of Discovery. The game follows young Ryan, who embarks on an adventure from Barcelona to find his missing adventurer father and uncover the mystery of monsters suddenly appearing in the world. Progression is driven by engaging in both battle and trade. Players will spend time in towns visiting various facilities like shops, inns, banks, and churches. You can purchase items, recruit companions to join your party, manage your finances, and trade goods between different locations to make money. Combat is a key part of the journey, as you'll face monsters both on land and at sea. As you progress, you'll gain the ability to acquire and customize your own ship, which is essential for exploration and engaging in naval battles. The page shows screenshots depicting town exploration, turn-based battles, trading interfaces, ship management, and sea travel rendered using polygon graphics. Key characters introduced include the protagonist Ryan, his friend Trefoil, Queen Isabella who tasks Ryan with monster hunting, and Ryan's mother, Citra. The game blends classic RPG elements with exploration and simulation aspects tied to the seafaring theme. This page delves deeper into the distinct battle systems found in Great Adventure, The Miracle of St. Elmo, covering both land and sea combat. Land battles are described as traditional, turn-based RPG combat, where you issue commands like attack, use item, or special move. Screenshots show a character fighting a monster and the command menu. Naval combat, however, uses a simulation-like system. Players can use cannons to damage enemy ships, engage in melee combat, or challenge the enemy captain to a duel. Success in battle depends on managing ship durability and choosing the right tactics. The page also explains the initial objective:
liberating ports along the Mediterranean coast, starting near Barcelona, which have been occupied by monsters. This involves landing and defeating the creatures to restore trade and normal function to the ports. A large map of the Mediterranean region is shown, highlighting various cities that likely serve as destinations in the game. Finally, a column discusses the historical context of the Age of Discovery and the importance of trade during this period, referencing historical figures and the search for new trade routes for valuable goods like spices. This page features the electronic comic game based on Sorcerer Hunters, described as a digital comic adventure following the excessive costumes seen in the original comic, novel, and TV anime. The gameplay is primarily presented in a digital comic format using CG backgrounds and character sprites, with voice acting, expanding the story through text. Key characters include Tiara, Chocola, Cheryl, and the enemy sorcerer, Barbara. The game features movie sequences integrated into the story, including transformation scenes for Tiara and Chocola, drawing from the TV series. Battles are handled via a unique slot machine system, with outcomes like attack success determined by the slots. Cheryl possesses a special ability to transform during battle, sometimes into a monstrous form, triggered by battle conditions. Clearing specific scenarios leads to an original ending movie. This page features a detailed look at Devil Summoner, Akuma Zensho, a database software for the Sega Saturn. This isn't a game, but a comprehensive compendium showcasing over 200 demons from the Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner entry,
presenting their graphics in high resolution. You can search for demons by level, race, or name, view their stats, and even zoom in on the character models to appreciate the intricate artwork. The page also includes an interview with graphic designer Kazuko Tadano, a legend behind the Shin Megami Tensei demon designs. He discusses the process of bringing the demons to life in high resolution for the Saturn, the sheer volume of artwork required for devil summoners,
and shares insights into the creation of iconic demons like Mothman and Hachiman.
Tadano-san highlights the challenge of translating his detailed Macintosh drawings to the Saturn hardware while maintaining quality. This software is a must-have for fans wanting to dive deep into the lore and visual design of the demons. This page dives into Labeless Panic, a charming variety game on the Saturn where you challenge 15 different cute girls across a collection of familiar minigames. The focus here is on fun, featuring attractive character designs, voiced performances, and a mix of game types to keep things interesting. You can play through the story mode, progressing by defeating girls in various challenges, or jump straight into your favorite game in the game-only mode. The page showcases several of the 10 included games, like a Spot the Difference challenge, classic casino games such as roulette, concentration, poker, and blackjack, plus others like a jigsaw puzzle and a rhythm-based sound match game. The graphics look vibrant, particularly the large artwork featuring a girl in a bunny outfit, and the minigame screenshots give a taste of the colorful presentation and the opponents you'll face. It's clear this game is all about enjoying simple, engaging gameplay alongside a roster of appealing characters. This page highlights two distinct gaming experiences. On the left, we have Irem Arcade Classics, a collection breathing new life into 3 celebrated Irem arcade titles from the 1980s. This compilation brings back the side-scrolling martial arts action of Kung Fu Master, the unique perspective-shifting bike racing challenge described as Zipper Race across New York, and the gridiron strategy of 10-Yard Fight. It's presented as a great way for both veterans and newcomers to experience these retro hits. On the right, the page shifts focus to the 3D realm with Gen War, a full-directional 3D shooting game where humanity battles an alien race known as the Gen. Players pilot a hypersuit mech in expansive environments, engaging enemies from all angles. The game emphasizes tactical awareness, requiring players to monitor various status indicators on a detailed HUD and strategically select from the suit's diverse weaponry like Gatling guns and missiles. Objectives vary from stage to stage, ranging from rescue missions to destroying alien installations, providing a dynamic challenge in this intense, futuristic conflict. This page showcases classic arcade revivals alongside a modern 3D shooter. This page showcases 2 very different software titles for the Saturn. On the left is Johnny Bazooka, a wild side-scrolling action game where you play as a rocker using a guitar that doubles as a bazooka to fight the ruler of hell and save his band. The gameplay involves platforming, blasting enemies, and utilizing the bazooka in creative ways like sucking up items or propelling yourself with recoil jumps. It's not just pure action though, as the game also includes puzzle elements where you sometimes need to stop and figure things out to progress through the diverse worlds like a prison, hotel, and restaurant, each culminating in a boss fight. On the right, we have Cubic Gallery, an educational software that makes learning about art fun.
It features 50 famous European paintings presented interactively. You can explore these masterpieces through modes like the Story mode, which involves a mystery related to art, Simulation art, allowing comparison of painting details, and Touch the Art, where elements within the paintings come to life. It even includes bonus puzzle games to make learning even more engaging, offering a unique way to discover art history through the Saturn. This page features previews of 2 distinct titles. On the left is Angel Paradise Volume 1, Yuko Sakamaki's Premonition in Hollywood, a puzzle game for the Sega Saturn featuring popular TV and gravure idol Yuko Sakamaki. Players solve puzzles based on photos and video footage from her trip to Hollywood. The game includes different puzzle types, and completing them unlocks hidden movies and photos of Yuko. There's even an option to view her personal profile data.
It seems designed for fans of the model, offering a unique way to interact with her content through a game format. On the right, we have a preview of Doraemon Waku Waku Pocket Paradise for the Game Gear. This game is an adventure where Doraemon must rescue his friends by progressing through a map filled with various minigames. The page highlights several of these minigames, showing screenshots and brief descriptions. These include classic activities like string games, rhythm-based eating, a mole hacking style game, navigating obstacle courses, avoiding enemies in a scrolling level, and a bubble matching puzzle. Clearing minigames allows players to advance and also earn items for a bonus game, which seems to add another layer of fun and rewards. It looks like a collection of simple, engaging minigames centered around the beloved Doraemon characters.
This page is all about what's coming soon to the Saturn, highlighting a trio of diverse titles. First up is Super Real Mahjong PV2, continuing the popular Mahjong series known for its focus on female characters. This entry is getting a Saturn port and promises significantly more animation and visuals than previous versions. It introduces 3 distinct girls: Yukari Kinomiya, a college student from Hokkaido, Tamami Kayama, a lively high school softball player, and Mari Kurihara, the oldest character in the series, described as mature yet also having a cute side. Next we have Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Slam Jam 96. This looks like a solid polygon-based basketball sim. The preview emphasizes realistic gameplay, with features like switching players on the fly, and even mentions the detail of squeaking shoe sounds on the court. Screenshots showcase dynamic aerial plays and fast-paced action. Finally, there's Sapari Slot Shooting, an action puzzle game that mixes shooting mechanics with slot machine elements. Players control characters like Suro-kun and Suro-chan to shoot enemies descending from the top of the screen. Landing combinations on the slot machine provides bonuses, including special characters, adding a unique twist to the shooter formula. The levels pictured show varied environments. This page features a look at several more exciting titles slated for the Sega Saturn, building on the diverse lineup hinted at on the previous page. First up is Sword and Sorcery, an upcoming fantasy RPG. The preview highlights its opening anime sequence, the polygon-rendered combat, and a unique rest system that lets players recover HP and MP in towns, or even the field, crucial for success. Screenshots show the detailed environments and character interactions, promising a rich, story-driven adventure with humorous events. It also delves into early plot points involving characters like Ryu Scion and Elgoat, facing a strange disease, and visiting Papachopu Village and Shikahora Cave, introducing interesting creatures like the mole bear Miniminaga. Next we see Disease Magic Great Battle, a shooting game with an intriguing premise. It centers around a battle tournament where the victor's wish is granted, featuring 9 powerful contestants. The gameplay mixes traditional shooting with a unique goal-scoring mechanic, creating an unusual but potentially engaging challenge. The screenshots showcase the intense arcade-style action. Finally, the classic puzzle game Tetris arrives on the Saturn with Tetris S. This release includes both the standard classic Tetris experience and a competitive versus Tetris mode, dubbed Momoi Tetris, where players battle head-to-head by sending lines to their opponent. The game boasts beautiful, artistic backgrounds and promises the addictive, challenging gameplay Tetris is known for, even featuring some playful monkey characters in the versus mode. The next page delves further into upcoming Sega Saturn titles, showcasing a blend of genres. First is a mystery adventure game, Crime Photos, where you play as a photographer investigating a bizarre murder involving an idol group. The preview highlights a scenario that branches based on player choices and features a unique photography mode allowing you to capture key moments, which are then saved. Screenshots show character portraits of the girls involved and scenes from the investigation, setting a dark and intriguing tone. Next up is a major tactical RPG entry, Langrisser 2I. This latest installment in the acclaimed series promises deep strategic gameplay building on its predecessors. The preview emphasizes the charming character designs, full voice acting, and the introduction of impressive 3D battle sequences with large armies, where you can change the camera perspective for tactical advantage. Early game events are teased, setting the stage for the grand conflict central to the story, involving key characters and the start of a long war. Screenshots display the strategic map, character interactions, and the dynamic 3D battle scenes. Finally, the page previews One Shot Reversal, The Road to Gamble King, a simulation game focused entirely on gambling. Players can engage in various activities like horse racing, boat racing, and pachinko, all aiming to become the ultimate gambler. The game appears to simulate realistic gambling odds and features detailed interfaces for each game type, shown in the screenshots. It seems to offer a comprehensive gambling experience on the Saturn. This page showcases several unique upcoming Sega Saturn titles. First is Aquazone, a digital pet simulation game focusing on raising tropical fish on your screen. You can customize the aquarium environment,
including decorations, substrates, and backgrounds, making it an engaging environmental software experience. Screenshots show the aquarium view and menu options. Next is Yosuke ID's Pro Mahjong, a mahjong game supervised by the professional player Yosuke ID. The preview highlights the game's realistic thinking routines and various modes available, including free matches, title matches, a story mode called Vagabond Story, and a data viewing mode to track player statistics. The preview also notes the detailed character expressions. Following that is Hisatsu, an action game based on the famous Japanese period TV drama. Players select characters from the show to take on missions. Screenshots depict the action gameplay with samurai fighting in various settings. Death Crimson
is previewed as a 3D polygon light gun shooting game. Players use the gun controller to battle enemies. A key feature is the gun's ability to evolve and change form throughout the game, even transforming into a missile launcher. Screenshots show the game's visual style and the evolving gun. Finally, the page covers Playboy Karaoke Volume 1, a karaoke game featuring sensual visuals from Playboy magazine accompanying the songs. It highlights the use of moody and adult visuals set to the music, designed to captivate players. Screenshots show stills from the accompanying videos. This page dives into several exciting upcoming Saturn releases and details from a recent game announcement event. First up is Kachu Kyudai Gekiju Daiichi Muki Mahjong Hen, a mahjong game featuring the unique Kachu brothers. It boasts 3 distinct modes, including a story mode, where you interact with 8 different characters, and a free play option. The game also incorporates live-action segments starring the Kachu brothers themselves, adding a quirky touch to the traditional mahjong gameplay. Next is Pinball Graffiti, which puts a narrative spin on the classic pinball experience. The story follows a basketball player who turns to pinball after an injury, aiming to become a champion. The game features beautifully rendered 3D polygon tables and allows players to adjust camera angles for the best view of the action. There are even mini-games, like basketball, integrated into the gameplay. The Special Projects section covers a recent event announcing new titles. Capcom revealed more details on games like the popular fighting title Street Fighter Alpha 2 and the mecha combat game Cyberbots, highlighting planned Saturn ports and other arcade-to-home conversions. Jaleco showcased Ninja Jajamaru-kun, now rendered with polygonal graphics for the Saturn. Hudson announced Saturn Bomberman, emphasizing its impressive 10-player simultaneous battle mode and ranking system, a major draw for the console. The page also briefly touches on other titles, like the puzzle port Magical Drop 2, a racing game called Wangan Dead Heat plus Real Arrange, and various adventure and fighting games from other developers. This page presents the latest status report on numerous upcoming Sega Saturn titles, offering a glimpse into the console's future lineup. The feature highlights development progress and anticipation levels for a diverse collection of games across various genres. Prominent fighting game ports are featured, including updates on Virtua Fighter Kids with its unique chibi style, the arcade fighter Fighting Vipers, and entries from major series like Fatal Fury 3, Samurai Shodown 2i, and Street Fighter Alpha 2, all aiming to bring the arcade experience home. RPG enthusiasts can anticipate games like Lunar, Silver Star Story, the visually impressive 3D action RPG Dark Savior, Albert Odyssey Gaiden, and the classic dungeon crawling of Wizardry Vi and V2 Complete. The report also touches upon unique titles like the highly anticipated simulation/adventure game Sakura Wars, Hideo Kojima's adventure title Policenauts, the strategic Lang Risser 2i, the sprawling RPG Tengai Meikyu, the Apocalypse IV set in 19th century America, and the party classic Saturn Bomberman known for its massive multiplayer battles. The page underscores the excitement surrounding these releases and their potential impact on the Saturn library. This page presents the official release calendar for Sega Saturn and Game Gear titles, giving us a clear view of the upcoming software lineup from April onwards. It's packed with dates and tentative windows for a huge variety of games, spanning genres from fighting and RPGs to simulations and puzzles. We see confirmation for games like Dark Savior and Astal in the near future, with highly anticipated titles such as Nights into Dreams, Langrisser 2 Is, and Saturn Bomberman appearing later in the year or in the undecided section. The list also includes key arcade ports like Virtua Cop and Street Fighter Alpha 2. There's a small section detailing upcoming releases for the Game Gear as well. The editor's note provides interesting commentary on the industry, touching on the intense rivalry between Sega and Sony, and reflecting on the evolution of fighting games like Virtua Fighter and Tekken. Finally, there's a note about the next issue of the magazine dropping on April 26th.
This page prominently features the game debut S, an idle simulation game for the Sega Saturn. The artwork showcases the vibrant anime style typical of the genre, highlighting several female characters central to the game. Screenshots provide a glimpse into the gameplay interface, displaying character stats like HP, trust, will, voice, technique, and charm, alongside in-game dates, suggesting a time management or scheduling element as you guide hopefuls towards stardom. The page confirms a scheduled release for May, priced at 6,800 yen, excluding tax. It's clear this title focuses on raising and managing potential idols, a popular simulation genre on the platform.